just for having the mayor here, but he also sent about 20 of his staffers here today. So there's a few of you I see from the mayor's office. We also have the Hope team. Oh, look at that right there. So thank you guys. Thank you guys. We also want to thank Advanced English Academy. They sent 60 different participants. They're up in that corner. Thank you, Advance. Thank you so much. We want to thank Kate Ashbury Waldenhouse they helped with the setup and takedown. We were doing it all day yesterday and then after today, so we want to thank them. They're not here, but we give them a round of applause too. We have Bodine and Pete's who provide coffee for both the participants and volunteers. So keep the clapping. And then I want to thank Rich Whipple. Is Rich? I don't see Rich. But the community ambassadors have done so much to help transport participants from the Bayview to here. And then they helped with wristbands and doing a lot of outreach for us. So thank you to the community ambassadors who are still outside, I think. I want to identify just a couple of other people. I don't know if you guys know this, but we are the founders of something that 200 different places have replicated. There are 200 PHCs that looked at us and said they're doing such a good job, let's do it in our city. And there's even people from other countries. So today we have people from Baltimore, we have some people from New York, and as a New Yorker I can say San Francisco does it better. And we have also some people from Rams, California, and we're talking to them about maybe next year doing a combined event, which would be so exciting. We love Rams. So I don't know we're there, but we look forward to there they are. So Rams is remote access medical services. And they do a lot of similar with what we do. They just did one in Oakland where they saw how many people, Pam, to put you on the spot? Do you know? 3,000. They saw 3,000 people for medical and dental. So we love that. We love people with like minds. So congratulations, Rams. I'd also, of course, like to thank our notables who will get a chance to speak, but you guys are also the notables. People ask me, in fact, Julia, who's here from Baltimore, said, what makes PHC so great? What's really about San Francisco PHC that I should fly from Baltimore? She didn't say it quite like that, but I'll say she did. And I said, it's because the volunteers. I don't know how many of you know all of the story about PHC, and I won't go into the whole spiel, but we're a project that is done only by you. Everything that you see here is done by volunteers. There's 200 nonprofits that will be here today to serve the participants, and the only way this could happen is with your help. We're also using some new technologies. You guys been on Twitter and Facebook. Okay, so you guys are way cooler than me. I just did this last week. My staff have been telling me that's the thing of the year. And so I have like 6 friends, and I need more. We have 11. So what we do is every week on Twitter, we have the need of the week, and that's at PHCSF. And you can find out what is it that we need. We're trying to mobilize resources. Last week, we needed a crock pot. We put that out there on Twitter, and miraculously, we got one. And so a client was able to have a hot pot. Things like that we can mobilize resources and use technology to help mobilize resources when we're all kind of limited on funds. So join us. I'm going to say this right. I've been coached for a week. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Woo! So I want a commitment at the end of today. I really need to have more than 6 friends, okay? Otherwise, it just makes me pathetic. No one needs that. Okay, so the first person that we're going to introduce is somebody that I met in New York. And about a decade ago, I was running a homeless shelter, and I met the next gentleman. And his passion was the same as mine to work with the homeless. And he was also pretty good looking, so I married him. And just because of his looks. And anyhow, he's now the program director at Hamilton Family Services. And at every event we're going to have, I'm sure I just embarrassed him, at every event, he doesn't know we're family. So at every event, I said that we're going to be having a service that comes to the event, talk about what they do here at the event. But I'm also having him come because our next event is July 27th in the Bayview, and that's going to be a Family Connect event. So I wanted him to come and talk to you guys about what's going on with family homelessness. So I'd like to introduce my husband, Ralph Payton.
Thank you. Thank you, Carol. And you can see why I'm still in love with her. She's as adorable as ever. So good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. This is another event which I'm sure is going to be as successful as all the rest. I have a few things to say. Let me give you a little history about Hamilton Family Center. As Kara mentioned, I'm the program director at Hamilton Family Residences and Emergency Center. It is the oldest and the largest family shelter in San Francisco. It was established back in 1985, and it's still, going today. Hamilton not only operates a family shelter, but also a transitional housing program, a permanent supportive housing program, a First Avenues program. It's a program dedicated to homelessness prevention and rapid rehousing of families that are experiencing homelessness. Our mission is a bold one. It is to end homelessness for families and individuals in the San Francisco Bay Area. And that's why we're present at every PHC event. Now let's talk a little bit about family homelessness in San Francisco. We've been hearing a lot about homeless families in the media over the past 5 or 6 months, which is a bit unusual. Usually, homeless singles have been the face of homelessness in San Francisco. But there's no shortage of populations that need our assistance, and homeless families are one of the most vulnerable groups. Let's look at some numbers. The first half of last year, when the city conducted its annual point-in-time survey, out of 6,466 homeless persons, 635 of those were families. By November of last year, there were 267 families waiting to access shelter in one of the city-funded family shelters. That's 267 families that did not have a regular place to sleep, and certainly not a place that they could call their own home. To give some context, back in 2009, at the height of the recession, the wait list for families seeking to access family shelters were only at 214. Now that number, last November, that number exceeded 267. That's 25% more than the number of homeless families seeking shelter at the height of the recession. As of last week, we still have over 190 families seeking access to a family shelter in San Francisco. And these are just families that are attempting to get placement in a family shelter. Our schools are telling us here that we have 2,200 homeless children in schools. Research tells us that homeless children have a higher rate of serious and chronic health issues, developmental delays, mental health problems, academic failures, behavioral problems, and poor nutrition. Given these numbers, it's clear we have a crisis around family homelessness in San Francisco. As we know, homelessness is first and foremost a housing problem and should be treated exactly as that. Research is showing us that more and more families are more open to intervention, more open to social service support once they are stably housed. So that needs to be our first priority in San Francisco, is finding affordable housing for our families. And our city has responded to this crisis. As a result of private donations and public funding through the mayor's office, the Home for the Holidays program over the 2011-2012 holiday season housed dozens of families, homeless families that wouldn't have had housing without the support of the mayor's office, and individuals like yourself donating for these families. But this isn't enough. We need more housing for homeless families. But until that affordable housing materializes, it is volunteers like yourselves and organizations like Hamilton Family Center and Project Homeless Connect and other organizations that provide the much needed services and supports to the city's homeless families. As a provider, we're very excited about the upcoming Family Connect in July. We thank all of you for the services and support that you offer to our city's homeless, and I look forward to seeing you in July when we focus when we focus on homeless families and give the attention that they deserve. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. And again, our next event will be in Bayview on July 27th. It's different because it's Family Connect. So we're doing it from 1 o'clock in the afternoon till 7. We're going to be doing a family-style dinner. We're going to have karate classes, a lot of nutrition, and the same services that we have here today. There was one person that I forgot to say thank you for coming, Hydra Mendoza, who's on the Board of Education. She's done a lot for our children. We want to also thank her for coming out here today. So thank you, Hydra, over there. The next person I get to introduce is really exciting because she's somebody that I've talked to you guys about that helped me when I was in a bad place as a child. And now I'm so lucky that she gets to be my boss. I am the luckiest person in the world. My boss, the wonderful director of public health for this city, she believes, and I've said this before, in doing the work that the clients need when the clients need it. And that's what makes PHC so dynamic. So I want to introduce Barbara Garcia.
Buenos dias. Good morning, everyone. It's so exciting to be here. Also, PHC would not work without all of you. I want to acknowledge every one of you, but particularly I just want to acknowledge and give a shout out to our DPH people who come here, everyone. So all of you stand up. As well, behind us, you will see some of our core staff. The staff, all of the mental health services and the medical services, so many of our medical directors who really provide the structure for everybody to volunteer. So I want to acknowledge them and give them a hand because they don't get to see us as much because they're down there. We talked about resources and support. I want to acknowledge Penny Yeardley. She is our director of our San Francisco Public Health Foundation. Stand up, Penny. She is the steward of all of our donations today for Project Homeless Connect, and we really want to acknowledge that. As well, I just have a special announcement. The department has been working for about 10 years with the Social Security Administration to look at the issue of homeless individuals with schizophrenia. And these are some of our most vulnerable population, and they also have a hard time trying to get into services and the kind of complications of trying to fill out all the forms and getting the treatment. Well, through the work that we've collaboration with the Social Security Administration, we are participating in a pilot for 200 people. We hope that this pilot will continue to become an official policy of Social Security Administration, where individuals who are homeless with schizophrenia will have a presumptive award, meaning that within 5 days, not 2 years, not a year, not 6 months, which usually is the case, within 5 days with the correct process that we're going to be doing with case managers, can get SSI, the benefit to be able to get housed, and the Medi-Cal to be able to get their medical care. And so we want to thank the Social Security Administration on DPH for that. And that's an incredible, it took us 10 years to get through that conversation. So I want to thank all of you today. Just want to warn you, you will have sore feet today. So take care of your feet tonight, because standing up and doing all the work today. I really want to thank you and welcome back to all the old PHCs and to the new ones. You're going to have a great day today. Thank you so much.
The next person is no stranger to PHC. He's one of our best friends, Bevan Defty.
Thank you. Hey. Good morning, everybody. It is great to be here. And I was here in February, and I had just started as Director of Hope for Mayor Lee, and that's Housing Opportunity, Partnership, and Engagements. And I'd like to acknowledge that Amanda Freed is here, who's our Policy Director, and Dee Scheck-Snader, who's our Manager of Public Housing Innovations, are here, and Caitlin Jacobson, our Program Assistant. So I've got a great team working with me. And even when your title is Director of Hope, it is very inspiring to see all of you here and all of the folks that are getting ready to work with the individuals that are coming to see us today. And I'm excited because the mayor has really said we want to take a different look at what has gone on with homelessness, family homelessness, veterans who are homeless, individuals with HIV and AIDS who are homeless, and our general population here. And so our office has really been in the forefront of trying to take some new approaches. And so just last week, Mayor Lee, we traveled together to Seattle, and we got to visit the wet housing that they have there that works with chronic public inebriates. They have 75 individuals that live there with dignity and support, and it's been a program that hasn't had barriers, and so you haven't had people on the street. I was with Barbara Garcia, our amazing public health director with Social Security, and it was such a transformative day to recognize that we're going to be able to qualify 200 homeless schizophrenics, or exactly those people that you see not being able to garner services. And we're looking at doing some exciting things. Our jails for 10 years have had a charter adult school, 5 keys in them, which have done amazing work. And we're looking at bringing 5 keys both to 6th Street and to Sunnydale, because we need to give individuals the opportunity to have access to education. In Sunnydale, we have only 18% high school graduation rates, one of the lowest of any of our public housing developments. And our Housing Authority is a very important partner, and we want to have the San Francisco Housing Authority be among the best in the nation. And we know that we've got to get vacant units rehabilitated and online, and the mayor has been helping us, and we've had Home Depot Foundation come to us and say that they might like to partner with us to help renovate units for veterans. And we've succeeded in getting 200 VASH, which are VA supportive housing certificates that can enable homeless veterans to be housed. And then I just want to close and say that San Francisco's application for McKinney grants for homeless services, we were the #1 rated application out of 440 in the nation. So we're doing some good things here in San Francisco. So have hope like I do. Know that there are going to be a lot of ideas, a lot of different things. You may have ideas based on talking to individuals. Peer-to-peer, listening to individuals who've been homeless is one of the most important things. We're looking at maybe using 311 for shelter reservations so people don't have to line up at 3 and 4 in the morning. So be part of that change. Be part of the hope. Give us your ideas. And I'm pleased to recognize and give the mic to our leader, our great mayor, Mayor Ed Lee.
Thank you. Good morning. Are you ready? All right. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here this morning. I want to thank Bevan and Barbara and Kara and all the volunteers, the volunteer coordinators that are here. You know, this morning and every time I come, there's a lot of smiles on your faces because you're doing what San Franciscans have always traditionally done. When people are in need, we come out and we help. We lead with our hearts. This is the wonderful thing. This is why I'm so lucky to be the mayor of San Francisco, because we want everyone to share in the richness of this city. And it is rich. It is for the whole 100%. I've said that before. We don't divide ourselves up. And whenever we have an opportunity, we come out and show our hearts. That's what we've been known for in San Francisco, and that's what you're doing today. And some of you decided you would help me celebrate my 60th birthday by adding this as one of the 60 things that you wanted to do for our city. Thank you very much for being here. Bevan and Barbara are absolutely right. There are so many programs out there that we know that we can have introduced. And they're programs that reflect professional thoughts of how we can end homelessness. Obviously, what was said earlier about housing being in the lead. But I think the most important thing is that this city has to always show its compassion. If you don't care about people, folks on the streets can feel that right away. And they'll know you're not sincere. They'll know that you just want to get in, corral them into some place, and then leave them alone so that they're continue to be isolated. And it's that isolation from people. It's that uncaring attitude that I think other cities don't succeed in. We have an opportunity with our Director of Hope not only to show and demonstrate our compassion, but to have real programs that people can choose to transform their lives. The best decisions are the ones that are made for people who care about themselves. How can you have people care about themselves if you don't show our compassion for them? This is why San Francisco is such a great city. And I want you to know that we care about you. We want to make sure that you have the most highest inspiration backing you for everything that you do today. We want you to be safe as well, and we want you to share in your compassion for those who are less fortunate and for those who are seeking help. And if you have that moment, whether you're giving away a free book or introducing them to hygienio or dental care or eye screening care, if you can help people say there are choices out there that you can help them make that can get them into long-term supportive shelter, we want to be able to do that because that's the ultimate answer. And we know that to be the truth. That'll be the place where people can sustain their decisions. And we saw it right away. We saw it in our trips. We saw it at our shelters. People want not only that shelter, but then if they can work their way into sustainable jobs and where they can get their self-sufficiency and their pride and their respect back, they're going to last longer for their own lives. but begins a lot of times with whatever compassion we can show here, the connectivity that Project Homeless Connect shows, and gets them into an attitude where there are answers for them and people that care. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for volunteering your time, your money, your resources, and most importantly, sharing of your hearts. Thank you for being here today.
So again, I want to reiterate something that Mayor Lee said in the February event. He said that this is definitely one place where you can go where you're not alone. And about 6 o'clock this morning, hundreds of people lined up in the park across the street to meet you guys. They told me about seeing some of their friends that were volunteers from last time. So the impact that you make today, the smiles that you give today, truly change lives. A lot of people have contacted me and said, how can I help more? So I'm going to give you a couple of ways. I already told you Facebook and Twitter. That's a good one. Hint, hint. The second thing that you can do is donate your time. Those of you who are maybe have a few extra dollars and think, you know, I have $10 and I don't know what to do. I don't know whether I should give it to the guy in the corner or what I should do with it. For $10, we can buy somebody a pair of glasses. Give it to us. We'll buy somebody glasses. You say you have $500, we can get somebody dentures. So if you have a little extra sitting around, let us know. It goes straight into the clients. It doesn't go to our staff salaries. It goes straight into making these events and straight into things that work for the clients. So I have some homework for you guys. Go home, join us on Facebook, join us on Twitter. And before we close today, there's a lot of volunteers downstairs that have been here since very early this morning. Do you think we can be loud enough to say thank you that they can hear us? Okay, so on the count of 3. Let's say thank you. Thank you, volunteers, to those downstairs. Count of 3. Let's see if this works. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, downstairs. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful day. If you have any input, any feedback, let us know. We always want to do better. Thank you.